Are you tired of arguing with your partner? Do you wish you could just stop the conflict and live in peace? Hey there, I'm Chris. I'm a licensed counselor. And in this video, I'm going to talk to you about ways that you can reduce the temperature in your relationship, how you can move from argument to resolution, how you can move from conflict to connection. When we learn how to disagree productively, our disagreements can actually bring us closer together, can help us create connection even when we see things differently. So if you're ready to talk about how we can find resolution and bring ourselves closer together, stick around. Number one, stop trying to solve your problems when either of you is in fight or flight. This goes back to caveman days and the earliest days of human development. It is when we go into this state of mind-body activation that we're literally designed to fight the tiger or run away. One of the things that happens when we're in fight or flight is the part of your brain that helps you think rationally, the part of your brain that says, wait, no, don't say that. No, you're not coming back from that. Don't go there. That part of your brain is offline when you are in fight or flight. And so that makes it really hard to solve your problems when we're just in reactive mode. It gets us saying things and doing things that just move us backwards and sometimes make things worse. One of the things we need to do is to get away from each other for a little bit. We need to create some physical space from each other so that we can both calm down. If either of us has activated the gatekeeper in our brain that controls our speech and our actions, it's not serving us very well at that point. I think it's important for couples to develop a shared language for how we're going to instigate this. If we don't communicate with our partner about that, it can leave people feeling abandoned or maybe even manipulated a little bit. Have a code word or say, look, I'm going to call timeout right now because I think we're moving into unproductive space and I really want to handle this properly. So I'm going to go get a soda. I'll be back in 20 minutes and maybe we can try again. Not only do we need a mechanism for creating space, but we also need a language for talking about it. When we can do that, hopefully when we disagree, we can bring ourselves into more productive space and give us a better chance at resolving our differences. Number two, try to talk about your feelings instead of their actions. The tendency is to talk about their actions, their words, their beliefs. When we have someone coming at us about those things, we feel attacked. Our natural tendency is to push back. When we lead with judgment and evaluation and opinion, that's just low-hanging fruit for conflict. When we can talk about our own emotions, something very different happens. When I lead with, I feel confused and hurt, then what's my partner's natural tendency? My partner's natural tendency would not be to say, you're not confused, you're not hurt, because they have no way of knowing. That lives inside me. I own those feelings. The natural tendency of a partner who cares about you is to actually get curious about that. Well, why are you upset? What's going on? That's empathy. Empathy is one of the most healing things we can have in a relationship. When we lead with feeling instead of leading with judgment or facts, which actually aren't usually facts, they're usually perceptions. We'll talk about that in another video. But when we lead with our own emotion, we cut conflict out at the knees. We get rid of that low-hanging fruit, and we are actually able to talk about what's going on in the space between us. Now, here's a pro tip about I feel statements. It can be tempting to say, I feel blah, 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 where the blah, blah, blah is actually just an opinion. It's an opinion pretending to be a feeling, I feel statement, right? So if I say, I feel you shouldn't say that to me, then that's not a feeling. That's an opinion that I just said I feel before I express it. However, if we say I feel and we follow that up with an actual emotion, I feel hurt and confused. That's how we cultivate empathy in our relationship. So if you're going to use an I feel statement, which I'm a big fan of, make sure that I feel is followed with an actual feeling. Number three, remember that their feelings are not your feelings. It's so easy when your partner gets upset for you to get upset. I'm mad because you're mad is a trap. If we can know the difference between their feelings and ours, we can have those good boundaries, then it actually lets us remain calm. It lets us provide empathy and compassion for our partner, and it doesn't let their discomfort make us excessively uncomfortable. And it gives us a hope of resolving our problems, of cooling things down. If we just pick up on their energy and we match angry energy with them, then we're back into the old cycle again, aren't we? Work on differentiating between your partner's emotions and your own. And if you struggle to do that, that might be a sign that it's time to do some of your own work, because that sounds kind of like a boundary issue. And boundary issues, in addition to working on those as a couple, I think it's really helpful to work on those individually. So just remember, their feelings are not your feelings. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves of that when things are going fast. Number 4, realize that so often we don't argue about what's really wrong. There's an old cliche about a couple who gets in a blowout argument over who left the cap off the toothpaste that morning. When we can learn to recognize those little triggers in our relationship that actually are not at the core of the problem, it allows us to kind of step around those little conflicts that can grow bigger, and it can empower us to talk about what's really going on. Now, if you're in a couple where we're arguing over the cap off the toothpaste, it becomes far more productive to have a conversation about what's going on beneath that. So if you find yourself getting triggered by what rationally seem like really dinky little things and you know it, or if you're in the middle of an argument and you're just telling yourself, we're fighting about something really stupid and small, why are we doing this? Maybe it's time to ask yourself, what are the issues going on beneath this? Like the cap off the toothpaste, maybe someone just really cares about feeling like they have a partner who's helping them create nice things. And when they sense that that's not happening, their partner doesn't share their commitment to keeping their house nice, then that is a bigger issue. Or maybe someone really cares about, look, if you say you're going to do something, it's really important to me that that happens. I don't want to have to wonder if you're going to follow through on what you tell me. These are the kinds of foundational things that couples often have to talk about, but they also get symbolized by little things. When we learn to sit with these concerns, not fire off a sarcastic comment, but sit with those concerns and try to figure out what's going on underneath them, sometimes we can have much more productive and meaningful conversations with our partner, and we can figure out ways to come together instead of ways to argue about little tiny things. Number 5, try to pick your battles. Guys, let's be honest, living together is hard. And we are just inundated with ways that we just see life differently. Some of these things are great big, like attitudes towards fidelity and honesty. Some of these things are small, like does pineapple go on pizza? If we take the bait on every little thing that we disagree about, we're just exhausted. And so one of the things that you can ask yourself is, does my life really change if I win this? Just conserve your energy for those things that really matter. Learn to say to yourself, I don't have to be right about this. I can, even though I don't see it the way my partner does, letting them have that doesn't change a thing for me. And when we can do that, it can take the temperature down a lot in our relationships. Number 6, and this is kind of related to number 5, some disagreements there is no solution for. 40 to 60% of disagreements in healthy couples, in happy couples, there is no resolution for. There is no way to get on the same page. Learning how not to awfulize these moments, when we can recognize that a lot of these things we're just not going to come together on. Does pineapple go on pizza? Isn't that 40 to 60%? That's probably okay in most families. How open our relationship is, we probably need to be in the same place on that. Recognize that 40 to 60% of these things, even small things, there is no answer for. And that doesn't have to be catastrophic. When we can learn how to recognize that, then we don't go into this negative headspace. We don't get all despondent and upset about our relationship. We then learn to focus our energy on the healthy, productive things that are present in a relationship, and it helps us to come together where it really matters. Okay, guys, that's it for today. I hope you found these things helpful. Hey, if you want me to drill down on any of these particular issues, do me a favor, leave a comment below or reach out directly to me. You know the routine, like, share, subscribe. That helps the channel get to more people, and it helps me create more of these videos to hopefully help you lean into the life that you really want to live. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time.